What's up everybody, Shawnee Sham Anime here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about One Piece chapter 993, My Other Name is Yamato. This chapter was fantastic, one of my favorites in a while because it showcases all of the things that Oda is the best at. Oda is great at closing storylines and creating storylines that finalize together, if that makes sense. I'm going to do a better job of explaining it later on in the video, but I just want to say I really think Oda did a great job with this chapter. It's one of my favorites in a while. I think his storytelling is on another level in Onigashima. But as you know, like this video, comment your thoughts, and hit that red subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on my One Piece reviews. Alright, let's get into it. So to start off this chapter, we finally get the ending of Gang Bej's Oh My Family.
Thank you, Jesus!
Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Gang Bej's Oh My Family was pretty cool at the beginning. It was a cool little story, you know, it was funny. I just really feel like Oda dragged it on for too long. I think I don't know where it's going. I don't know what relevance it might have to the story. If it has none, I'm kind of okay with that. I guess we just have to focus on the actual chapters that are going on during the time of Gang Bej's Oh My Family. I'm really looking forward to see what happens next. Hopefully we could see some more of the Big Mom Pirate. We could see some other stuff going on from the other supernovas. There's a lot I want to see in this world, and I think Oda can definitely do so with some better cover stories. I need them. I need some good cover stories, Oda. You're not going to hear this, but I need them. This chapter starts off right where we left off, on top of the Skull Island. On top of the skull, on top of the island, where we see Kaido whipping up like more of a storm, and you know, we see more of the wind sights, and we see Kinemon and Izzo booking it straight towards Kiku to, you know, fix her up, and Kinemon uses his fire sword style, and Izzo, like, I think wraps him up, and Kiku's right back up. She's right back in battle, and we can obviously see more about Kaido as we go. Again, he mentions Whitebeard and Roger and Oden. He mentions their sacrifices and how they ended their lives like nobly. Like he's envious of how they ended their lives, which is, it's intriguing. We're seeing more of Kaido. We're seeing more about him. It's really exciting. It's really exciting. But this section gives us more on Kaido, actually. We see him go into his human form, which I'm so excited. I want to see him fight in his human form. I've been talking about how I feel like the dragon form's kind of a weakness because it's so large, has so many open spots to be hit upon, and maybe this is him getting serious, or getting more towards serious. I think I've seen a lot of other people saying that as he gets into this form, he's a little more serious. He did it with Luffy, so maybe that means that his hybrid form is him at like peak seriousness, and I hope we see that with Luffy and Zoro, and I'm really excited. The beginning to this chapter shows a lot about how Kaido respects his adversaries and respects the strength in the way that they fight and put themselves out there, regardless of the situation, regardless of them. He believes that they should know that they're defeated. I mean, they obviously don't believe that. They believe that they can beat him, but he believes that it's over and they shouldn't even really fight. So he treats the fight that way and believes that they should do the same. But when they don't, he respects it, I guess, if that makes sense. He wants that revenge, that he wants those people to be vengeful and fight against him with all they've got. So he respects when people do that, and he respects how they die. But they actually go back to him and say that, no, dying to you is disrespectful. Like, it's not this great thing. Don't be conceited. Like, dying to you is not honorable. It is, but like, the way that they view Kaido, they don't view him as this like respectable, big, like, villain. They view him as scum. They don't like him. And that's evident, I think. So there's that discrepancy on how they both feel about the battle, which Oda continuously shows. And they're not going to go down. They're not going to, like, just get knocked down after some measly attack like that, which I think was cool to see. And I love how Oda, he addressed this. He made it clear about what the fight's going on and how it's kind of leveling up. It's reaching a climax. We're going up. And speaking of reaching climaxes, we see Luffy going back up, going back up all the rooms. Like I said last week, I told you we're gonna see more gifters that can't really do anything, and they're just gonna get washed. And we get this really funny panel of Sanji, and Sanji he's like mad that they didn't mention him, and that's really cool because he's like, first of all, Sanji and Jinbei, they mess up these random guys, this like one giraffe figure, which I love these ideas from Oda. I think they're hilarious. I think the gags are funny, the gags are the best thing that this little tower has given us so far. So it's Oda displaying what he does really well, and that's reach a climax. When Oda gets on that path of going upwards, he throws in the things that he does well, like the little gags, the little jokes, the creativity. He throws that in there in a perfect fashion. And this chapter like exemplifies that in the perfect way. And I think that's why I really liked it, because each storyline is clear and enjoyable. And obviously that's a obvious statement, but this chapter had a lot of storylines that moved forward in the fashion that Oda does best. But back to Sanji and Jinbei. Sanji beats one of these guys up, and he's mad because they didn't say his name. They only mentioned Straw Hat and Jinbei. I thought that was a funny little gag. And he perfects this in this chapter with how he shows off Queen. Queen has already been built up to be this cool villain. Obviously my favorite of the three guys, of Kaido's three commanders. Queen is just fun. He's funny. He's upbeat, and he creates all these different scenarios that like make things interesting. He's an interesting character. So he drops the antidote to Scratchman Apu, which obviously he wants to make it fun, and he wants to have everybody chasing after him. Zoro chases after him, Chopper chases after him. Everybody's there. Everybody's chasing after Apu, and he's like, "You've got an hour." And I love the time constraints on it, because Oda's always done that well. He's always, when you put a time limit on things and it's a controlled area, he's good at making that the best that it can be. And he does that. He does that very well in this chapter. They chase after Apu. I just really hope he doesn't drag it out. And I think it's kind of a cop-out. I would have liked to see them fight Queen, but like chasing after Apu, it's going to be funny. And to finish the chapter, we see what I've been hoping for the last couple weeks. We see Momo and Yamato interact. We see them really talk and really kind of give this explanation to each other. And this starts off with us seeing Shinobu, and Shinobu's obviously badly injured from what happened last chapter. She protected Momonosuke, and Yamato gets in front of both of them, and Shinobu is like, "Just protect Momo. Don't worry about me. Protect Momo." And Yamato's like, "No, I'm going to protect both of you." And Oda put Yamato in the chapters where we saw Kazuki Oden. He put Yamato's mask in the old chapters when Oden died, and he makes note of the fact that he's there, that he was there, and he saw what Shinobu did, and he respects it. So he obviously wants to protect Shinobu, because Shinobu has this legacy. She has this thing that kind of fueled Yamato to want to become Kazuki Oden and to want to go against Kaido. So obviously Yamato protects both of them in stellar fashion. She eats a little like explosion, just like her father. She's strong, she's durable, and then throws up this like long distance attack, smokes one of Sasuke's men, and then goes to say, "My other name is Yamato." And I'm a big fan of Yamato. I'm all for Yamato to join the Straw Hat crew. I've really enjoyed how Yamato interacts with the other characters around him and is very noble. And I think that Yamato, like I said earlier, could be a really good example for Momo. Momo realizes, all right, this is how a shogun should act. This is how someone who's following the name of my father should act. They should put themselves out there on the line. They should work hard. They should protect others and be a leader. And I think Momo is really learning how to be a leader, which is cool to see it come from his father, even though it's indirect. Like obviously Yamato like wants to be Odin. But it's literally Odin kind of figuratively showing Momo how to be a leader and how to be the Shogun of Wano. But yeah, as I said, this chapter has really been fantastic. I love this chapter. It's a good setup chapter. You know, it moves, it flows really well. Oda does a fantastic job of the text mixing in with the panels themselves. They kind of go good together. They all flow. Each storyline flows. I just really hope that the Queen thing doesn't drag on, because that has the capability to really drag on and kind of like extend things a little more than we would want them to. But other than that, this chapter was really fantastic. We have 2 weeks until the next chapter. We're getting closer to 1,000. I'm really excited to see where he goes with this. I think Kaido's gonna handle the Akazaya Samurai pretty easily in his human form. I don't think it'll be what we've seen in the past. But that's about it for this chapter. You know, if you like this video, comment your thoughts, and make sure you subscribe and hit that red button down below so you can stay tuned